Hi, everyone, guys. Every year, there are more and more rich people whose success stories inspire ambitious projects. And one of them is Kevin Plank. Kevin was born in 1972 on August 13 in Kensington. He was the fifth child in the family. His parents were not rich, so the young man grew up in a poor family. In his studies, he did not shine with success. Because of this, he was not even able to finish preparatory. He showed decent results in American football when he played in the city team. For these successes, he was accepted into the college. By 1991, he realized that without an education, he would have a hard time in life, so he decided to tune into study and entered the University of Maryland. He continued to play football with the same zeal, and everyone on the team called him the sweatiest player. His hyperactivity, inexhaustible energy and constant movement gave him away from the very first minutes on the football field. Since t-shirts used to be made from cotton, they quickly got wet. Plank felt as if his t-shirt was getting so heavy that he couldn't run as fast as he could. He had not slept for many nights and was constantly wondering what he could do to replace the t-shirt. Kevin decided to go to New York to find a suitable fabric. It was there that he found an interesting option, which included lycra and polyester. This fabric seemed perfect, because it allowed sweat to pass through and did not absorb it, while remaining as light. Plank graduated from college at 23, had a bachelor's degree, and didn't stop. Shortly before graduation, he was invited to work for a company that deals with insurance. He didn't like it at all, because he didn't want to obey any boss. At that moment, he had the idea to open his own office in Washington, in his grandmother's basement, creating a company that was called Under Armour. Initially, Plank wanted to give the name of his company as Hart, but for some reason, the trademark office refused him. He chose a different name for the company, which was Body Armor, but he was rejected again because one of the stores already had that name. But somehow his older brother confuses the name, pronouncing Under Armour. Since then, the brand has been called that. For a startup, Kevin had some savings that he had saved up while delivering flowers for Valentine's Day. He had a partner, Ryan Wood, and together with him he made his plans about how they would bypass the famous manufacturers Nike, Adidas, etc. Kevin decided to distribute his first t-shirts to the players he had known since training. This product was tested by many athletes, and after a while Plank decided to place an ad in a sports magazine. Under Armour has its own shares, which increased by a whopping 94% on the very first day. The 2008 crisis did not affect the company's operations in any way. The next year, the company had about 2,000 employees, and the company brought in $725 million a year. In 2019, Under Armour reported for the fourth quarter of 2018. The firm's three-month revenue reached $1.4 billion, plus 2% year-on-year, which was significantly higher than Wall Street analysts' forecasts. However, Kevin Plank and company are not going to rest on their laurels. With such revolutions on Earth, they are already cramped, so now Under Armour conquers space. And in the literal sense, the company has created a suit for flights into space. The kit includes a base layer of materials that improve blood circulation, a training suit, an astronaut jacket, shoes and a spacesuit. The billionaire and founder of Virgin Galactic, Richard Branson, plans to test space equipment, which he expects to put space tourism on stream by the end of 2020. In the future, Under Armour is waiting for various unconquered peaks, ambitious and at the same time energetic, so it is safe to say that it certainly has a chance to become on a par with Nike.